Hello, hi, namaskara. Welcome to our channel Let's Learn at Leisure. Learning, learning is fine, but why at leisure? Yes, our body and mind will be free from stress when we are at leisure. We will be able to appreciate and absorb many thoughts and ideas very well. We will learn with the help of multimedia. No need to jot down notes or record screenshot. Just relax and be comfortable. We will learn many things apart from textbook knowledge like Rubik's Cube, Python, Jenga, Raspberry Pi, and so on. So, without further ado, let's start our today's session. Come on. Today we are learning about integers of class 7. Now let's see the contents of this video. In this video we will learn about numbers, integers, representation of integers with number line, comparing integers, application of negative numbers, and mathematical operations on integers. Numbers. There are various types of numbers. Can you classify these numbers by its types? Yes. These numbers can be classified as natural number, whole number, decimal number, fraction, and imaginary number. Numbers. Here, 1 and 2 are natural numbers. If we add 0 to natural numbers, it becomes a whole number. Numbers with decimal point are known as decimal number, like 3.14, 0.5, and 4.36 are decimal number. For example, we have walked 4.36 km in morning within zero point 0.7 hours. 4.36 km means 4 km and 360 meters. 0.7 hour means 42 minutes, that is 0.7 into 60 minutes. Numbers in the form of p by q are known as fractions. For example, if one slice of pizza is cut out from 8 pieces of pizza, then that one slice of pizza is known as 1 by 8 of pizza. So these numbers are called as fractions. Numbers which are prefixed with minus sign are known as negative numbers, like -4, -24, and so on are known as negative numbers. For example, negative numbers are used to represent the temperature below 0 degrees Celsius, that like -10, -20, and -30. Numbers in the form of a plus bi are known as complex numbers. In 3 plus 4i, 3 is a real number and 4i is a imaginary number. So this type of number is known as complex number. In this process, we have classified numbers into different types, that is whole number, decimal, fraction, negative number, and complex numbers. This is a part of data sorting and analysis, and this is a sub-part of data science. In my GK book, I have come across that data scientist is second payable job in 2021. Integers. So, what are integers? Integers are whole numbers and negative numbers. Integers contain negative numbers and whole number, but not decimal number, fraction, and complex number. As you can see on a number line, there is no decimal number or fractions or a complex number. Negative number. Always enclose the negative number within parentheses. For example, -1, -2, and -3 are enclosed with parentheses. Now let's see the representation of integers with number line. So what is number line? Number line is used to represent integers on a line and compare the numbers on the line. Integers contain negative number, 0 and positive numbers. Number line has equal spacing between the numbers. Example, if we take that there is a 1 centimeter gap between number 0 and 1, there has to be 1 centimeter gap between 1 and 2 and with other numbers also. And the same distance should be given to negative number also. Positive numbers are written to the right side of 0 in a number line. And positive numbers are not prefixed with any sign, but positive number also has a sign, that is plus. Plus is not prefixed with positive sign because plus, that is positive sign, is also known as default sign. So if you don't put any sign before the number, then it is considered as a positive sign. Then negative numbers are written to the left side of 0. These numbers are written together for comparing its value. As you can see, negative number is prefixed with minus sign. Now let's see what is comparing. Relating the numerical value of a number with respect to the other. Comparing says that number 1 is equal to number 2 or less than number 2 or greater than number 2. Comparing integers. Comparing integers has three cases. In first case, we will have two positive numbers. Now let's take an example of 5 and 25. Since both the numbers are positive, higher the face value, larger the numerical value of the number. When we draw these numbers on a number line, further the number from 0 has the larger numerical value. The distance between 0 to 5 is lesser than 0 and 25. Therefore, 5 is lesser than 25. In second case, we will get both the numbers as negative. Let's take an example of minus 5 and minus 25. Since both the numbers are negative, higher the face value, lower the numerical value of the number. Since 5 has lesser face value than 25, so minus 5 is greater than minus 25. When we draw these numbers on a number line, farther the number from 0 has the smaller numerical value. The distance between 0 and minus 5 is less than the distance between 0 and minus 25. Therefore, minus 5 is greater than minus 25. We can also say that the number which is farther from 0 has lesser numerical value than the number which is near to the 0. So, minus 25 is lesser than minus 5. Now, let's go to the third case. In third case, we will get one positive and one negative number. Now, let's take an example of 10 and minus 5. Since both the numbers are of different types, we can take help of a whole number line. Remember that negative number will have a lesser numerical value than the positive number. So 10 is greater than minus 5. Now let's see the summary of the cases. In case 1, we'll get both the numbers as positive. Higher the face value will be greater than other number. Means the number which has higher face value will be greater than the other number. In case 2, we'll get both the numbers as negative. Lower the face value, number will be greater than other number. In second case, when the face value is lesser than other number, then the face value which is less will be greater than the other number. case 3, we'll get one positive and one negative number, and the positive number will be greater than the negative number. Now let's see the application of negative numbers in a thermometer. Negative numbers are used to represent the temperature below freezing point of water, that is 0 degrees Celsius. Temperature which is below 0 degrees Celsius are represented in negative number, and the temperature which is above 0 degrees Celsius are represented in positive number. And 100 degrees Celsius is also known as the boiling point of water. As you can see, positive numbers are used to represent the degree of hotness above the freezing point of water, and negative number are used to represent the degree of coldness which is below 0 degree, that is freezing point of water. In digital thermometer, negative sign will be prefixed with the temperature value, like -19 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's see the application of negative numbers in the height above sea level. As you can see, Mount Everest has a height of positive 8,848.86 meter above the sea level. If there is a land below sea level which is 5 meters, then we can say that the land is minus 5 meters below the sea level. And Kamirita Sherpa is the person who has climbed the Mount Everest for 26th time, and he is from Nepal, and his recent climb was on May 8, 2022. Now let's see the negative number in bank statement. As you saw that the money borrowed from the bank are represented as negative number in the balance sheet. Bank has a balance sheet which records the money borrowed from the bank. And this negative amount will earn interest to the bank in future. Now let's take a small break. Now let's see the mathematical operation on integers. In mathematical operation we will get addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. In addition, case 1 will be two positive numbers. We have already studied how to add two positive numbers. For example, 10 plus 2 which is equals to 12. Now let's go to the case 2. In case 2 we will get two negative number. When we add a negative number to another negative number, the sum will be negative number with higher face value than both the numbers, and prefixed with negative sign. Since negative 2 is in a bracket, we have to remove the bracket. But to remove the bracket, there are certain rules. Now let's see those rules. In first case, if we have a positive sign before the bracket and the number which is inside the bracket is a negative, then after removing the bracket, instead of putting a positive sign, we have to put a negative sign. Second case is the reverse of first case. In third case, we'll get negative sign before a bracket and there will be a negative number in the bracket. Then we have to remove the bracket and put a positive sign before the number. In fourth case, we will have a positive sign before the bracket and there will be a positive number inside the bracket. Then we have to remove the bracket and put a positive sign. Now we can use first case to open the bracket for this question. So that will become 10 minus 2. First case, as I said, we have to remove the bracket and put a negative sign instead of putting a positive sign. So if we get two negative numbers, then we have to add those numbers and put a negative sign. So if we add those numbers, it will become 10 plus 2 which is equal to 12 and put a negative sign. Now let's go to the third case. In third case, we will get one positive and one negative number. Since there is a negative number in the bracket, we have to remove the bracket. We can use first case to remove the bracket. So this equation will become 10 minus 3, because if we remove the bracket, we have to put a negative sign for this question. So 10 minus 3 is equal to 7. We have to put a positive sign, or we can just leave the number as it is. We have to put a positive sign because 10 is greater than 3. Now let's see the summary of those cases. In first case, we will get both the numbers as positive. Then we have to add and put a positive sign since both the numbers are positive. In second case, we will get both the numbers as negative. Then we have to add and put a negative sign. In third case, we will get one positive number and one negative number. Then we have to subtract and put greater number sign. In the previous case, we got the question as 10 plus negative 3, and this will become 10 minus 3, and the answer is 7. But it is positive 7 or negative 7. Since 10 is greater than 3 and 10 is a positive number, so the sign for the 7 will be positive, that is plus, or we can just leave as this since it's a positive number. And fourth case is the reverse of third case. Remember that if we get one negative number in the equation and set to add them, then we have to subtract and put greater number sign. If we get two negative number in the equation and set to add them, then we have to add and put a negative sign. Now let's see mathematical operation on integers of subtraction. Before going to the cases, now let's recall the tools to open the bracket. In first case, we will get a positive sign before the bracket, and inside a bracket will be a negative number. Then after removing the bracket, we have to put a negative sign before the number. And second case is the reverse of first case. In third case, we will get negative sign before the bracket and a negative number inside the bracket. Then we have to remove the bracket and put a positive sign before the number. And in fourth case, we will get a positive sign before the bracket and a positive number inside a bracket. Then we have to remove the bracket and put a positive sign. In case 1a, we will get two positive numbers where LHS is greater than RHS. That is, left hand side is greater than right hand side. 10 is greater than 2. We know how to subtract them. That is 10 minus 2, which is equal to 8. Now let's go to the case 1b, where we'll get two positive numbers where LHS will be lesser than RHS. When we try to remove bigger number from a smaller number, we will always get a negative difference. For example, when we remove 10 from 2, we will get a negative 8 because we 10 minus 2 is 8 and 10 is greater than 2, so we have to put a negative sign. Now let's see how to subtract two negative numbers, which comes under case 2. As I said before, we have to remove the brackets. So here there is a minus sign before the bracket and there is a negative number inside a bracket. Then we have to use third case. In third case, we have to remove the bracket and put a positive sign before the number. Then that will become minus 10 plus 2. And this subtraction equation became a addition equation. Then minus 10 plus 2. As I said before, how to add negative number to a positive number. Then instead of adding, we have to subtract them and put a greater number sign. 10 is greater than 2. So the sign of number 10 is minus. So this will become minus 8. Now let's go to the third case. In third case, we will get one positive number and one negative number. So it is 1 minus of negative 3. Since negative number is inside a bracket, then we have to remove the bracket. For this, we should use third case of removing the bracket. In third case, we have to remove the bracket and put a positive sign before the number. So it will become 1 plus 3, which is equals to 4. Let's take another example. Positive 2 subtracted from minus 1. Since positive 2 is in the bracket, then we have to use the second case of opening a bracket. In second case, we will get a negative sign before the bracket and a positive number inside the bracket. Then we have to remove the bracket and put a negative sign before the bracket. Then that will become minus 1 and minus 2. As I said before, if we get two negative numbers, then we have to add and put a negative sign. Now let's see the summary. In case 1a, LHS number will be positive and will be greater than RHS number. In case 1, when we get a LHS number which is greater than RHS number and set to subtract them, then we have to subtract and put a positive sign. In first case B, LHS number will be positive which is lesser than RHS number. In case 1, when both the numbers are positive and LHS number is lesser than RHS, then we have to subtract and put a negative sign. In case 2, we will get both the number as negative. Then we have to add and put a negative sign. In third case, we will get a positive number and a negative number. Then we have to add and put a positive sign. In fourth case, we get LHS number as negative, RHS number as positive. Then we have to add and put a negative sign. In subtraction, when we get two negative number in the equation, then we have to add and put a negative sign. We have completed the contents of this video, but before ending this video, I have a riddle for you. I add 5 to 9 and I get 2. The answer is correct, but how? And the hint is time. Please comment your answers below.
Guys, we have reached the end of this session. So let's summarize what have we learned in this session. In this session, we have learned about what are integers, their uses in our daily life, and mathematical operations of integers. In next session, we will learn about their properties such as commutative, associative, distributive, additive identity and inverse, multiplicative identity and inverse. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you don't like this video, please leave comments below for further improvements. Love to see you again. Thank you. Bye. Bye.